Wolves expected to request permission from QPR to speak to their head coach, Mick Beale, about the vacant managerial position there is right now at Molineux. Wolves play Leicester on Sunday. They're currently 17th in the Premier League. As for Beale, he's only been in charge of QPR since June. He was previously assistant manager to Steven Gerrard, who we've just heard from, at both Rangers and Aston Villa, before then being appointed at Loftus Road. OK. For more on this developing story, Mark McAdam is here with me on set. Hi there, Mark. So you've got this game tonight, QPR against Cardiff for Soccer Special. It must be a bit of a peculiar feeling if you're Mick Beale. There you are, preparing for the game as normal, and then, you know, you hear reports of a Premier League club being very interested in your services.
I think most football managers will be used to dealing with anything and everything in the build-up to matches, particularly over the last couple of years with COVID, the pandemic and various other things that have happened this season. But this will certainly become as a big blow to Queen's Park Rangers, who spent a long time and did a lot of due diligence to try and replace Mark Warburton, who was a brilliant manager for them over a series of years. He worked very closely with the board. He implemented a style and a philosophy at the football club, which Mick Beale has very much carried on. And when Les Ferdinand had the very difficult task of trying to find the man to replace Mark Warburton, the search was an extensive one, and Mick Beale was someone that was immediately attracted by Queen's Park Rangers because of the quality he had, the quality he possessed as a coach, the experience he had, the recent success he'd had as well with Steven Gerrard and Rangers. And then, of course, a little bit of success at Aston Villa. So this will come as a big blow for the football club, that the fact that Wolves are interested in their manager. However, as far as Queen's Park Rangers are concerned, it's business as usual. They've got a game tonight in the Championship. They've had a really fantastic season so far. You have to look at Mick Beale's record as well. 14 games in the Championship as a manager. They've won 7 of them. And when you walk into any environment with a 50% win record, whilst it's still very early days, it's really successful. And the fact that he is coveting interest from a Premier League side also suggests how highly valued, respected and regarded he is within the game, particularly at a club that have always had good quality, strong managers, a lot of good players. They've had that fantastic journey under Nuno, going from the Championship to the Premier League. And of course, they're now looking for someone to work with one of the superpowers in world football. We know that George Mendes is involved with the football club and he's very influential with regards to the footballing side of things. And if they've identified Mick Beale as someone that potentially could come in and be their new manager, then I think that shows you all you need to know about the type of quality he has.
Yeah. Let's sort of talk about the why then, because it's 15 games at QPR, yet already, you know, linked with a job in the Premier League. Why? What's made him so attractive, Mark?
Well, I think you first of all look at the success he had at Rangers with Steven Gerrard. He was influential with regards to Steven Gerrard's success there. He was the one that did all the coaching. He was the one that was on the training pitch developing players, working with Steven Gerrard, and of course won Rangers' 55th league title after a long spell without a league title. And he was a big part of that transformation with Ross Wilson, Steven Gerrard, to rebuild that club once again. And he was heavily influential in developing the style of play and the players at the football club as well. Of course, Steven Gerrard took him to Aston Villa as well, where he spent last season before obviously joining Queen's Park Rangers this summer. I watched Queen's Park Rangers twice early on in the season for Soccer Saturday, and immediately you could see the type of football, the philosophy, the type of character and manager he was, and what he wanted to implement within that Queen's Park Rangers team. You have to remember as well, it's a very young QPR side. So the fact that they were adapting to his philosophy and doing what he wanted very early on showed that he was getting his ideas across very quickly. They had a couple of really positive results. I was there for the Middlesbrough game, in which they were 3-0 up after just 30 minutes and went on to win 3-2. So really successful early on. They had a little bit of a wobble, but most recently you've seen them start to really find their form. They've won some games, they've played well, they've got into the top half of the Championship, and they've been challenging for those playoff spots as well. So it has been a real transformation, but the impact has been huge from very early on for Mick Beale. OK, so one managerial vacancy in the Premier League may be filled soon, but that, of course, would leave a vacancy in the Championship. Thank you very much indeed for the moment, Mark.